Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off with some good news for iPhone users. UTM SE has been approved for the App Store. Now, this app was previously rejected by Apple, stating it's not a retro console emulator, so it shouldn't be on the App Store. If you remember, a while back we talked about all of this when UTM was going through the initial application process, and Apple determined that PC is not a console. Regardless of the fact that there are some retro Windows and DOS games for the PC that UTM SE can be useful in running. However, fortunately, UTM is now on the App Store. I don't know if UTM kept fighting for this one or if Apple decided to change the reasoning and rationale and considers retro PC gaming emulation as retro console emulation. Who knows? Anyways, here it's doing very well. It's got a 4.6 star rating and it's number 30 in entertainment. Now, for those who may not be aware, UTM SE stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano. It's 100% free and you can see the different operating systems it offers: Arch Linux, Debian 11, FreeDOS, macOS 9.2.1, and Windows XP. UTM SE is based on QEMU. This one, since it's on the App Store, does not have JIT. There is a JIT version that you can sideload that arguably is a lot more powerful. But at the same time, this is a pretty big accomplishment. So if you are curious about UTM, I'll drop the App Store pages and their official website in the description below. I mean, UTM with JIT is a heck of a lot better. It's very good. But moving on, and next up, if you've got $500 laying around and you don't want something like the Steam Deck and instead you'd rather have an aluminum Game Boy shaped FPGA device from Analogue called the Analogue Pocket, well then this piece of news might be for you. The Analogue Pocket Aluminum Limited Edition is going on sale today. They say here that each and every piece of the enclosure is fabricated entirely from solid billet 6061 aluminum. And if I scroll down, they also say it's re-engineered and manufactured to last a lifetime. There's 4 different colors available and shipping is pretty quick on this one. Orders start today and shipping is in 2 days. Let me know your thoughts about these in the comments below. Do you like the colorways? Do you like the aluminum? And do you like the price? Moving on, and we're quickly talking about Bioshock 4, and an image has been posted online to give us an early look at this game. I'll drop a link to the article in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. There's a lot of information about the upcoming Bioshock in it. Anyways, this image is from a 2021 build of the game, so a lot may have changed since then. The next Bioshock game is being developed by Cloud Chamber Studios, but we don't know the release date. We don't really know a whole lot about it, not even the name of this thing. I think we're going to have to be patient and see what happens in the next year or two, or maybe even more. And speaking about stuff posted online, next up we're talking about Disney, and this is a real big one. Nullbudge has said Disney has had their entire dev Slack dumped. 1.1 terabytes of files and chat messages. Anything they could get their hands on, they downloaded and packaged up. Want to see what goes on behind the doors? Go grab it. Additionally, here in the image, they say it's almost 10,000 channels, every message and file possible dumped, unreleased projects, raw images and code, some logins, links to internal API and web pages, and more. Have fun sifting through it. There is a lot there. They tried to hold off until they got deeper in, but the inside man got cold feet and kicked them out. Now, this obviously has gained a ton of popularity. I mean, it's being talked about all over the internet, and someone or some people or a lot of people are not happy about it. I mean, Nullbudge says, big thank you to who's trying to DDoS their website, not waiting 3 seconds for them to see that they have DDoS protection. It's Cloudflare, not hidden. DDoS doesn't work. And they have 9.2 million total requests. Based on previous data breaches, like the whole Insomniac thing, I'm very curious to see what happens moving forward. I'm thinking we're going to hear a lot about this in the near future and learn a whole lot of stuff as well. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. But moving on, and next up we're talking about Linux, and Linux kernel 6.10 has just dropped. Obviously, with newer kernels brings about driver improvements and a whole lot more, and newer hardware generally benefits a lot more than older hardware. Anyways, here, according to Gaming on Linux, there's some Steam Deck improvements and even more. And speaking about Linux, next up we're talking about CachyOS, which is a blazing fast Arch-based customizable Linux distribution, and it just got a brand new release. So for the July 2024 release, they say this is their 8th release this year, and they're very proud to announce a new optimized repository. Starting with this release, they are providing a Zen 4 optimized repository. This repository will be automatically used at new installation for Zen 4 and Zen 5 CPUs to provide the best performance. So if you've got an AMD Zen 4 or Zen 5 CPU, you may want to check out CachyOS and see if it's for you. Next up, we're quickly talking about PS4 emulation with Shad PS4. Now, the other day we talked about Shad PS4 when it could boot Bloodborne. And then we talked about it again when it got some color corrections for Bloodborne. And then we talked about it again when it could boot Turok. I missed that. And I also missed this as well. It apparently boots Red Dead Redemption. So I'll drop a link to this video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. Now, there's a big difference between booting and playable. Just because a game boots does not mean you can play it. But at the same time here, the more and more I hear and see about Shad PS4, the more impressed I am. And some people have said they might as well rename it to Chad PS4. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about a new game for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis called Captain Barrel. And a demo video has just dropped over on YouTube. I'll drop a link as well in the description below. Captain Barrel seems like a pretty lighthearted platformer where you play as Captain Crunch and take on various enemies. Now, I'm pretty sure we've talked about Captain Barrel in the past. I mean, it was a new game headed to the AES, MVS, Dreamcast, PSP, MVSX, Arcade Stick Pro, and even more. Captain Barrel is being developed by Neo Byte Force, and the demo for it for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis port is available on itch.io. I'll drop a link to that in the description below as well. They say here pre-orders are starting September 24th and the release date will be announced then. And on a quick side note here, before anyone asks me in the comments, no, I don't think this is officially Captain Crunch. The main character, in my opinion, just looks like him. Next up, we're quickly talking about Grand Theft Auto 3 on Dreamcast. And no, this game never officially released for the Dreamcast, but it appears that the game is being rebuilt for it. So the project is apparently called RE3, and the repository is called REGTA 3DC. And they say here, in this repository, you'll find the fully reversed source code for GTA 3 and GTA Vice City. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, I'll drop a link in the description below and feel free to check it out. They say the project has also been ported to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Vita, and Nintendo Wii U. And last up here, we're talking about something concerning, at least to me. Apparently, a manufacturer is threatening a lawsuit over a negative review of one of their products. There are a number of videos on this subject, one from the actual person who's being affected, Golden Sound, and this video in specific from the headphone show is over 30 minutes long with a ton of detail, including the entire backstory. From my understanding, at a very high level, there was discussion between DCS, the product manufacturer, and Golden Sound, the reviewer, over a product that Golden Sound reviewed and didn't like. DCS apparently did not like the review and obviously wanted Golden Sound to fix inaccuracies. And based on what was presented in this video, it appears that Golden Sound was looking to see what was the problem, and DCS wasn't being very specific and just stating the video. I could be wrong in my understanding of this one though, but at the same time, based on the context here, Golden Sound seemed to have been doing everything they could to find out what exactly was wrong. And then months later, DCS responds with a legal threat and basically says they have 10 days to fix the video. And again, from my understanding, this is fairly recent and the review was published all the way back in 2021. So there's a very big gap in timelines. And apparently here as well, not everything that Golden Sound was actually wrong. I don't think this is a very good look for DCS, especially with the communication trail provided. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know about DCS until these videos, and now I've checked them out, and now I'm kind of curious as to whether or not the reviews published on YouTube are all authentic. If you've seen these videos, let me know your thoughts about them in the comments below. In my opinion, this sets a very dangerous precedent to someone unfavorably reviewing someone's product. I mean, I've reviewed a ton of products in the past, not all of them have been favorable. And I provided bad feedback to companies about some products, and that feedback is usually taken constructively and in stride. I've also heard about other companies going after people in the past over unfavorable reviews, but at the same time here, if the person can demonstrate why they don't like something, and it's also their opinion on the matter, what kind of legal ground does the company have? Who knows? At the very least, it's less of an incentive to actually review stuff. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.